This is a true story of 6 lions who have a most fearsome reputation. This notorious band of brothers has ruled the area with an iron paw. The notorious coalition of 6 lion brothers bound by blood and survival. They become infamous for their sheer power and labeled as sadistic and ruthless. These 6 cold-blooded lions were a formidable force that wiped out so many prides only to stamp their supremacy in the region. It's hard not to paint these lions as terrifying, evil beasts due to the wrath they have rained down on the area, but hope that they are remembered as great rulers and protectors. They have raised the bar of male coalitions insofar as protecting territory and ensuring their genetic success. In the world of lions, they should be seen as the epitomes of what a successful coalition should be. During their prime, these lions, these magnificent beasts, patrol their territory, dispatching all competitors and striking fear into the hearts of all that found themselves in their way. Who are they? Yes, they are the Mapogos. This was the place, Sabi Sand region of Kruger National Park, which was the home to 6 legendary, powerful beasts, and they ruled for more than 8 years, and they were dominating an area of approximately 70,000 hectares or 170,000 acres, which was the largest territory held by a lion coalition. This beautiful place has abundance of wild animals, and it's a heaven for any lions who rule this place. The coalition consisted of Mapogo, Kinky Tail, Mr. T, Scar, Rasta, and Pretty Boy. I sometimes wonder who came up with these names. But out of all, Mr. T is the most fearless and gruesome one. His Mohawk-style mane has been the last thing seen by many creatures. Mega Pride will have 4 or 5 dominant lions, so the Mapogo coalition of 6 is still a rare occurrence. To know more about them, let's find out where they came from. They were born between 2000 to 2004 and originated from the Spartan pride, seared by the West Street males. Makulu, the oldest member, and he was the biggest, was the only lion who came from a different pride, while the rest were brothers. The brothers were kicked out of the Sparta pride, left to fend for themselves. They resorted to scavenging from lionesses' hunts. As they grew more proficient in hunting, they began to take down their own prey, but their specialty was buffalo. During the buffalo hunts, Kinky Tail and Mr. T were often observed being more aggressive and bringing down the buffalo. Once they got experienced and confident, the Mapogos entered the northern Sabi Sands in 2006 to challenge the resident 4-male coalition. Usually lions are quiet when entering a new enemy area, but these guys like to announce it. So when they entered the enemy territory, roaring loudly, this was an unusual approach, and they later became famous for it. It became their style. After killing one of the resident males, the remaining 3 fled the territory. This began the Mapogos' reign of terror. The Mapogos would challenge any dominant male within their range. Most males would instinctively run to avoid the domineering coalition. If they did not run, they were caught, killed by the Mapogos. With the Ottawa Pride's male lion driven off, 3 lioness and 11 cubs remained. Due to the male lion's natural instinct, the 6 Mapogos quickly found and killed all 11 Ottawa cubs, to report of Mr. T even eating some of the cubs. In their reign, they conquered pride after pride and was ruling 8 massive territories and were responsible for over 100 lion deaths. The caretaker of this huge national park caught proof that a massive decrease in the population of lions was solely because of these brothers. But what set this coalition of brothers apart was their cannibalism. They did not leave behind any living lion, lioness or cub who could possibly take over their supremacy. The coalition changed the whole ecosystem of Sabi Sand. And it is no surprise that litters are becoming more and more skewed in favor of male offspring. This is an inevitable outcome as nature attempts to balance the scales and provide a more level playing field. And by being the oldest, Mapogo acted as the leader of the five brothers and the quickest to develop healthy adult strength, which made him naturally the head of the newfound coalition. There were 6 young males and they were growing up together, and the happiest brothers within the coalition were Mr. T and Kinky Tail. As they were so close to each other, the affection of both these cats was so cute. Mr. T was the lion who killed most of the cubs and took it as a priority in life for the coalition. He was the most aggressive of all the 6, and Kinky Tail, though older, was his right-hand man. They were in the middle of every fight and every hunt. Kinky Tail followed loyally his younger brother. Mr. T stands for the name Satan for his savagery and reason to kill. He did not have much of a reason for a brutal act. He was a very intelligent lion. With intelligence, he had so much potential in caring. Mr. T, who was respected by subordinates, admired by young ones, and desired by females within his kingdom. With all competition eliminated, the Mapogos had successfully controlled 8 prides. Once a young male lion from Manjigilani pride tried to show his dominance, but Mr. T and Kinky Tail, in an act of defiance, tore apart the young lion, shattered his pelvic bones, and then ate away the soft flesh of its underbelly. Divided into 2 groups, these Mapogo lions dominated the northern and the southern territories of the Sabi Sands, keeping away competition from their fellow lions. Rasta, Dreadlocks, Makalu and Pretty Boy formed one band, guarding the southern side, while Mr. T and Kinky Tail, the inseparable duo, watched out for the north. During their reign, not a single lion from other prides could enter the territory. If any beast tried to intrude, it was killed instantaneously. During one of these disputes, Mr. T killed a female lion that his brothers were brutally fighting over. During the fighting itself in front of his brothers, and he ate them. The love he had for Kinky Tail and his other brothers shows that he was intelligent enough to reason it. As where a normal pride would have one dominant male for its females in a given territory, the Mapogos would mate with many females in multiple prides across their entire massive region. This seemed to be an attempt to make sure that any lion cubs growing up in the area were from their bloodline. Like all great empires, even theirs could not last forever. The Mapogos had the same fate. In 2012, the Manjiglanis, a coalition of 5 males, entered the Mapogos territory to challenge them. Kinky Tail was killed. The Manjiglanis would eventually take over the area. Mr. T was thought to be fatally injured, but lived up to his legend by escaping and heading south to meet up with his remaining brothers. At that time, the remaining brothers were beginning to separate into different territories in the area, but would come together from time to time if a new threat had to be dealt with. Over the next 3 years, another 2 of the Mapogos disappeared without a trace. Makalu and Pretty Boy were the last 2 remaining Mapogos. They were last seen together entering the Kruger National Park and feeding on a buffalo in October 2012. Makalu was seen one last time in 2013 alone in the Mala Mala. There is no doubt that with age and their waning strength, the dethroning of the once fearless Mapogos was due. For all intents and purposes, their reign as the unstoppable rulers of the Sabi Sand is over. With their death, it marks an end of an era. Rest in peace, Mapogo brothers, in memory of their road to greatness in life, their savagery, and their loving care they had for each other.